Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful piece of work that was. Unfortunately, I can't take credit for that. All I did was put like a Dominican escudo, el escudo dominicano. The credit goes to @Alberto MROD. So Alberto Emrod @Alberto Emrod. If you guys are what, curious about who created that incredible compilation. So I'm gonna put the link in the description, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who just saw that are maybe considering moving to the Dominican Republic now. They're like, you know what, I was on the fence, but I don't know. Looks kind of nice. Looks kind of nice. I might just join you. But feliz día de la independencia. Ustedes saben que hoy es un día muy especial, muy importante, que es el nacimiento de la República Dominicana. Y para los que no saben de qué vino esa independencia, tiene que ver con el país vecino, actualmente Haití, que nos tenían, nos invadieron y nos tenían en prácticamente una esclavitud monetaria, porque ellos tenían una deuda grandísima y tenían que pagarle a Francia. Entonces lo que hicieron es que nos invadieron y decidieron que la colonia española dominicana iba a ser la que va a eh, la que la que van a usar para pagar esa deuda. Y en esos tiempos, prohibían muchas cosas dominicanas, como la religión, el lenguaje, la iglesia, y los dominicanos en esos tiempos se hartaron de eso y decidieron hacer la Trinitaria en secreto, hecha por Juan Pablo Duarte, y, y decidieron que iban a hacer la independencia de Haití. Y hoy en día somos dominicanos. Y si ubicas bien y lees la historia, vas a entender que la identidad dominicana es contra la identidad haitiana desde el principio. Yo,
Buenas noches.
¿cómo estamos?
Está muy bien, activo, tú sabes.
Sí, yo puse un video ahí bonito, unos videos ahí
Eso mira,
para comenzar live.
son unas imágenes, tú sabes, que me da mucho orgullo, de la patria. Este, yo soy 100% dominicano y orgulloso.
Sí.
Que hiciste algo hoy, Dominican Rand, para celebrar.
Bueno, yo hoy tenía clase,
Ok.
pero clase, que yo tenía que ir para el edificio y de todo.
Oh, wow, ok, ok. Ah,
Sí,
yo fui para un bakery dominicano, me comí un relleno de jamón y queso. Después fui a una bodega dominicana a comprar unos productos. Yo estaba mirando esta mañana, Luis Abinader, dio su, ¿cómo se dice? Speech de qué va a ser de este año y el otro año, la agenda de su
ujú,
partido. Y, eh, y no, tú sabes, y yo estaba mirando en Instagram, tú sabes, mucha gente que son muy, muy orgullosos, y me da esa lágrima que hay gente que quieren defender la patria y quieren, tú sabes, están en el mismo, sí, en la misma página.
sí, eso. Bueno, aprendiendo la historia dominicana me llena de orgullo y lo más que aprendo, lo más que me siento orgulloso de ser dominicano y hay que enseñarle cosas así a los dominicanos que no, que se creen que tienen una idea mal del país.
Ujú.
Hay que
Y no
enseñarle
vamos a
la
hablar de ayer,
realidad.
porque ayer yo quería vomitar.
Sí, ayer
Yo quería
eso fue un
vomitar.
desastre.
Ayer no, eso fue, y no por nada, yo soy, tú sabes, amigo con Cristina, pero yo me voy a dejar un poquito de canal de ella.
Sin
Me voy a
ofender a
anexar.
nadie, sin ofender a nadie, sin falta de
Sí,
respeto.
ajá, pero yo
Ese
voy a los
live
lados,
fue un tollo.
eso fue, mira, y yo, mira, el día entero, y de, oh, vamos a ser más dominicanos, vamos a hablar de temas, vamos a hablar de soluciones. Pero eso fue como Jerry Springer, como eso
Sí,
fue como y yo digo, coño, ¿qué yo hago aquí? Y tú sabes
loco,
que
yo
yo voy a la
también,
página
yo
de
me
Yadira Marte,
pregunté, diablo.
ella me responde a mí todo. Un día ella va a venir a este canal. Tú ves, y necesitamos gente así, tú ves, como gente a ese nivel, hablar con gente así, no a gente no sé, de bajo nivel.
¿Tú te imaginas, loco? Ella se lo come a todo. ¿Te
No, no,
imaginas?
¿y eso por qué? Porque sí, sí, ya yo estoy harto de hablar con niños, no, no, no puedo. Tú ves. Mira, tú eres un tipo calmado, y hasta ayer tú estabas gritando. Yo dije, no, esto es un desastre. Y después a mí me echan la culpa de todo. Oh, Nacho vino, se pasó. Digo, oh, yo me pasé, ¿verdad? A mí no me defienden porque yo soy orgulloso, por a los otros que son vende patria y hablan mal, lo defienden ellos. No, yo no puedo. Y tú sabes, yo le mando el apoyo de lejos.
Hipócritas,
Sí, yo le mando el
hipócritas.
apoyo de lejos, sí, de lejos. Gracias por invitarme, pero ya yo voy a mover a otro lado. Tú ves, es como subir una escalera. Yo voy a subir la escalera.
Sí, pero no, hoy estamos aquí.
Sí, estamos aquí
Vamos a ver
activos.
si,
Este,
sí, yo estoy
sí,
pensando en, sí,
no te iba a
dime,
decir que
dime.
tú me sorprendí, no me sorprendí que tú ibas a hacer un show hoy, porque como hay sábado, o sea, me imagino que yo estoy aquí en Washington, yo me imagino que la discoteca, la barra y todo están llenos, tú sabes, de gente, tú sabes, la gente celebrando. Pero,
Ujú.
tú sabes, nosotros somos, tú sabes, lo mínimo. Yo digo, en esta batalla van a ser los mínimos, no van a ser la mayoría, yo digo.
Sí, puede ser así. Puede ser
Pe-
que esto,
Pero a la misma vez, yo sigo mucha gente de la República Dominicana, porque es verdad que el dominicano y el dominicano que viene son dos diferentes cosas. Son dos diferentes cosas. Porque yo sigo la gente de allá y son gente positiva, son gente que son muy orgullosos. Mira, hay una muchacha que yo sigo, que es tú sabes, un modelo de gimnasio, bella y todo, y también
ujú.
ella es buena con las armas, ella es buena, ella coge clase de armas.
Okay.
Ella sabe cómo manejar un fusil. Ella sabe, y yo digo, wow, y necesitamos eso. Hasta que yo quiero, tú sabes, armar un fusil, coger, entrenar en tácticas militares, porque yo creo que la República Dominicana se quiere que militarizar. Y si no, el gobierno lo hace, yo creo que cada dominicano coge clase de cómo la arman, cuchilla y todo. Tú sabes, como prepárase tú sabes, para cómo defenderte también.
Sí, yo hablo un poco de eso. Yo toco ese tema, que la cultura. Espérate, vamos a hablar en inglés, porque
Yeah, because
el,
Blood Moon was dissing me like crazy. I said, like, I'm really getting tired of her. I'm really getting like she sits back in her chair. I mean, doesn't do anything. All she does is criticize. But it's ridiculous.
yes, we're gonna speak in English now, because that's the title of the live. It was meant to be in English, but
Yeah.
it was a nice little
But you know what, DRN?
warm
Like,
up.
if you want to weed out the snakes, you speak in Spanish
Yeah, I
because you
know.
speak in English. We did that one time, and it was But when you speak English, you invite everyone and whatever. Once it's Spanish, the real ones stay, and the fake ones leave.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. My channel, my target is mostly Dominicans, but I don't mind other Hispanics listening in, or especially if
Yeah,
they're Puerto Rican and Cuban.
yeah. And that other stream when the dude was, one thing
It just
I like
depends
about
on the.
your shows is like it's like serious, but we have some like real funny moments, like when yesterday when the dude imitated the Puerto Rican. That shit was so funny, man. It was so, and yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like we your channel is education, but also we could kick back and just crack jokes from time to time.
yeah. It's, I mean, cracking jokes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but at the same time, like, we can't be doing that 24/7. You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah,
yeah, like joking around way too much is like, we
yeah, it's
won't get
not good.
anything done.
That's true, and that's the thing is like I'm all about solutions. I'm all about like what can you do for your community, and I try to harp on that, but some people don't really like see it. They don't really get it. But it's fine. You don't have to get it. Like, for example, like today, like all my money that I spent was on Dominicans. Like, so basically, there's a stat like which community keeps their money circulating the longest. Of course, is Jewish people. Number one.
Mm.
Number two, I think is Chinese. Chinese Asian. Number three, I think it's Arab, Middle Eastern. Number four is American, white Americans. Number five is Hispanics, and number six is African American. I want to get to number one. So
Yeah, that would.
I encourage
Yeah.
anyone. That would change like us economically. Like think about that. Think of the top two,
Mhm.
the Jewish and the Chinese. Think about it. So if we
Mhm.
were to follow suit, which I think we do in a sense, because I've been in Washington Heights for now 2 weeks. I'm planning to stay here for the foreseeable future. And like we own a lot of business up here, like Dykeman, even the Bronx. Like we own a lot of business. Like when you go to Dykeman, we own like maybe like 8% of the business there. So and then so like instead of me going to, let's say, ShopRite, Whole Foods, no, I'm gonna go to Dan's Supermarket on 185th and St. Nick, so they could get my money. So that's what if anyone wants to make like a little change, just go a day where you just circulate the money within your own community. You know.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's good. Maybe. I mean, one day, that's a good start.
Yeah.
That's a
And
good
that's what I
start.
talk about. Like I'm reading a book. It was this good book I just finished. Hold on for a second. Let me see. Let me tell you the book. So anyway, they sold it in Target, and I recommend anyone. It's like maybe like 80 pages. It's simple. simple, gets to the point. It's an ex-Navy SEAL. Hold on for a second.
Oh. uh, why is Chivo not on your lives? I mean, he's rarely on my lives. He shows up every now and then, and he shows up like
Yeah, and if
unannounced. So everyone's just like, "Oh."
it was funny. Like when I was on Radical Latinos interview, he was like, "Oh, Chivo's in the background waiting. Get those likes up." I'm like, "Come on, this dude's bullshit. You think he will ever go to Radical Latinos? Fucking shit." Yo, the people be bullshitting in this shit, man. Anyway, so okay, so the book is name is "Make Your Bed" by Admiral William H. McRaven, and it's really about little things that can change your life and maybe change the world, right? So these are the chapters that it has. It's very short. So the contents, okay, so chapter one is start your day with a task completed. So basically that's why make your bed. Like, so when you're in the Navy SEALs, the first thing they do is wake you up and check to see that your bed is like tightly and cleanly made. So everyone encouraged when you wake up, make your bed, make sure it looks clean and orderly. So that's already once you wake up, that's one task you completed. Go brush your teeth, go wash your face, and those are two tasks already. You know, so just little things like that. And so chapter, all right, let me see. So if you want to change the world, stuff it says chapter one. If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed, right? So that's chapter one. Chapter two is you can't go you can't go it alone. You can't go at it alone, right? So it goes. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Meaning, like in the Navy SEALs, that they have all these rigorous tests. Running, deep diving in the middle of the night. You swimming with sharks. You're paddling for miles. So basically, like, just make sure like the person you're with is gonna paddle while your arms are tired. You get what I'm saying? Like, there to pick you up when you're down, right? So chapter three is only the size of your heart matters. It's not how tall you are. It's not how big you look. It's you could be the shortest guy on earth, and it's the size of your heart. So if you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart. Right. So chapter four is life's not fair. Drive on. What have we been saying, Dr. about this victim mentality? So we all
It's
been on the same page.
it's self-defeating.
Yeah. And a Navy SEAL's telling us this. A Navy SEAL, like, you can't have a victim mentality and be a Navy SEAL. They'll break you
Right.
down. So it's basically like if you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward.
Mm.
Right? This is a Navy SEAL, guys, not me saying it. So you're gonna say, "Oh, f this." I dare you to go to Navy SEAL and tell him f that to his face. All right. Chapter five: failure can only make you stronger. Right?
Mhm.
If you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circus. So the circus, it's a Navy SEAL. It's a term for um, what I'm gonna take the circus. It is the last thing a person will want. The circus was held every afternoon at the end of training. The circus was another 2 hours of additional calisthenics combined with nonstop harassment by SEAL combat veterans who only wanted the strong to survive. So, DRN, have we been saying this, like, harping this? And this is before I even read this book. And people call us assholes. Oh, you guys are inconsiderate. You get what I'm saying? So basically, like, the circus is basically like if you come last in any training, you got to do additional training afterwards, and people are there talking shit to you, saying you ain't shit, right? But that
Mm.
circus thing, that failure made them stronger. So then, as time went on, they started winning their competition. They would, like, so basically that extra work, that extra grind after work is what's gonna make you better at work, basically. in anything you do. Like you go to school, you study. So basically, like you go to school, you know, you learn there, but then you go home and you study even more. So then when you go to school, you could, ace the quiz like it's nothing, you know, or even
Mm,
if you have a job, you have a job, and you don't just stop working at 5. You go home and you try to increase your skills, so then you could go back into work and master it. You get what I'm saying? Master your skills. You know. Chapter 6. You must dare greatly. Right?
you must what?
Dare. You must be daring. You
Mm,
must dare greatly. Right? If you want to change the world, slide down the obstacle head first. Like
could
that
you
saying.
repeat that?
If you want to change the world, slide down the obstacle head first.
Okay.
So it's almost like that time, like vamos a hacerlo a lo fuck. You know what I mean? Like Dominican say, vamos a hacerlo a lo fuck, like yo fuck it, like just do it, like don't even think twice, just
Mm,
go ahead first. It's that mentality. Like it's almost like shoot first, ask questions later. Like just do it, just go ahead and do it.
mm,
So chapter 7 is stand up to the bullies. If you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks, right? Because Navy SEALs, they swim sharks and everything. Like it's like in the middle of the night, and you got to go, and in the freezing cold, and it's dark, and where there's great whites and all types of sharks, but you can't show any fear because sharks don't fear. Right. Chapter 8, rise to the occasion. If you want to change the world, be your very best in the darkest moments. All right. Chapter 9, give people hope. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I go to these fears, I want to give solutions. I want to give hope. I don't want to talk about the past and how we were victims. That doesn't help us at all.
right.
We got to give people hope, right? So it says, if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Well, this was something in the Navy SEALs where they put you in mud, like a deep mud hole, and you got to sit there for like 24 hours. And people quit and whatever. So they give an example, like there was 5 of them, and it's like, you guys want to quit, you guys want to quit, the guys there, the marshal, you guys want to quit, da, da, da. So then all 5 started singing a song, like they probably started singing the national anthem. So basically, like they distracted themselves from the situation and singing the national anthem to give themselves pride to move forward. you know
Mm,
so okay, chapter 10, never ever quit. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. And that's in the Navy SEALs. Like, when you go into a Navy SEALs academy, they have a huge bell in the beginning. So when people quit, they just ring the bell, and they give you your stuff and you leave. So he's like, don't ever ring the bell. Don't ever quit. And yeah, that's about it. Simple book, little things, but very powerful book. And I recommend it. It's called Make Your Bed.
mm. So it's like a self-help kind of thing. It's like how
It's
to
it's more than self help. This is a Navy SEAL. It's not like some dude like, hey, like on
right,
YouTube. No,
right.
this is an admiral. Like he's been through wars. He's gone through Afghanistan. He's had people die in his. Like this guy's a stone cold like general. And but he's telling you
Mhm.
these little simple everyday things that just build character.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the kind of things that I feel like young men should learn from their fathers.
I agree. I think in your generation, there's something called ageism where like they mock old people. They go, "Oh, you're old," like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're an old head," or whatever. And in my generation, we really never really did that. Like, we never really just went out and called people old. Well, those are the people with experience, and you don't know what they've been through, so maybe you could learn from them. Now, yeah, of course, there's not every old person is respectable. Don't get me wrong, but there's some old people you can learn from, and talk to them. Just have a conversation with them. See what they've been through. See what you could, learn. That's why I say sometimes you can learn from everything. You can learn from everything. You know.
Mhm.
So everyone has a mother here, a grandmother. Tell them about the stories. Tell them what they've been through, and you can learn something.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we could also learn from other countries that are doing things right. Um, I'm not saying we should like copy entirely, other countries, but one thing we talked about is mandatory 2-year military service in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, so yeah, that's what we were talking about. That's why I said like everyone like do some military training. I know you could there's services there's ex-military giving you classes on how to pitch a tent, how to start a fire, how to use a knife. Like everyone needs to get some sort of training. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start doing it. Because I need to get that type of training. Because you never know, and this world is going crazy. You never know what happens. So I think everyone should be ready and should learn how to live off the grid, per se, learn how to build your own house, stuff like that. I
Yeah,
think we've gotten too cosmopolitan, city life, and I think we need to kind of like go out in the woods more, kind of get into nature, learn how to chop a tree, learn how to start a fire, stuff like
step
that.
into our
And that,
explorer
yeah,
essence more.
yeah. And that's the thing, like I have an issue with certain things is like I feel like we're celebrating one side of ourselves and we're trying to neglect the other side. And that's not right. It's like if you're gonna celebrate the black part of DR, so then why don't white Hispanics, let's say, celebrate Columbus Day?
The thing is, it's like, if and it's like it's funny because most of the you know, Hispanics in the US who are on the Afro stuff, they're not even black. They're like partially black. So it's
Yeah,
like so I'm not even gonna say like it's black Hispanics. I'm just gonna say like
yeah,
you know,
I
if
agree. I
Hispanics
agree with that. I agree with that.
if Hispanics want to support like one thing or one side, they can't get mad when, you know, Hispanics want to support the other side or another side or whatever. Like they can't get mad because if they're doing the same thing, it's like you can't get mad. And at the end of the day, whoever has the best ideas is gonna come out on top. So it doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of if anyone's ex-military who's in the chat, let us know where any regular people could go and learn certain skills. If you have that information, put it in the private chat, and because that's what we need. We need to kind of just better ourselves, physically, mentally, just be skilled.
All right, somebody said, "Hey, did you guys hear about the good news Abinader gave today?" What is the good news, man? Something. I think I heard something about the
Yeah,
the border or something.
yeah. That they're gonna do like sensors. They're gonna kind of put more a budget. But the thing is and Yadira covered
He's
it right away.
¿Cómo está?
That's not the first time they give news like that. They've been like, oh, we're sending troops to the border, we're doing this, we're doing that, just to make us feel better. Especially on a
Yeah,
day like this,
yeah. It's convenient,
it's
right?
probably it's a stunt. Yeah, I think.
Mm.
I think it could be, because isn't there like some kind of company involved, like some Israeli company or something?
Yeah, that they gave funds to the Dominican government, but they took the funds. They didn't do anything.
What did Yadira Malte say about it?
Well, Yadira Malte, what she proposed, as far as she says, put a fort, right? Like a fort, then like an empty space in between, and then another fort. Where when you cross one fort, right there in the middle, that's where you do the processing. And then you go and you cross into another fort. You know what I'm saying? Not just like a wall, a plain wall. Just it got to be like one wall, then space, and then there is where you have like detention centers, or you have processing centers, and then another wall with like just basically like don't make it so like standard. You got to make it a little more detailed. Basically, that's what you were saying.
What the
And
defense?
what did Abinader say? What was the plan?
Well, I mean, in a general sense, it's basically to just he's going to put a budget to fortify the wall or whatever or the border, like so like face sensors, all types of stuff. Like he says he's gonna put an initiative to kind of like emphasize the border and the wall and the thing. But a lot of people are like, oh, he's
Yeah,
just BSing. He's just saying that just to talk and make you feel good, but they ain't gonna do anything. That's what
I
um,
feel
you
like
know.
I feel like doing that. I feel like putting technology and things like that. I feel like that's more like realistic. Well, not that it's not more. It's that I think it's like more cost efficient. So I feel like it's more possible that that something like that would happen. You know what I mean? Because like a border is like it's very controversial. It costs a lot of money. You need people to build it. It's like all this, but like let's say he contracts some tech companies with some
Yeah.
high tech stuff. This stuff is probably not even that expensive. Like
No, it's not.
from the
It's not.
perspective of the government, from the perspective because we spend a lot of money on illegal immigrants in the
Yeah.
Dominican Republic,
Oh,
so
did you hear?
it
Oh
probably
my
would
God.
cost it save us money
That's another
probably.
issue. That's another issue at the hospitals. That's a whole nother issue. I think he addressed that, and they said they're gonna build like two main hospitals like in the Haitian border, like crossing the Haitian border, so they don't have to come here to this hospital. They could go over there. But I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I still see them wanting to come over to us. For some reason they don't like the country. They just don't.
Yeah, I feel like other countries, countries neighboring Haiti, should step it up and do their part. Like Jamaica should really, step up and start taking in,
Did
at
y'all see?
least a quarter of the people in Haiti, at least.
Did y'all see what happened with the so-called hostages?
Yeah, and I was disgusted. I was disgusted. I was disgusted. I was like, look, what will
That's,
America do? That's what I always tell people. What will
that's
America
how
do?
deep this shit is, man.
It's like, oh, what I heard was, oh, they kidnapped them. Oh, because they were hungry, they had no money. Why don't you ask them? So then you know what happens now? Oh, $2 million. They were going to send the troops, and then oh, they released them. No, no, no. Get those bastards in there, bring them over, and put them on live and make an example out of them. So it could send a message to the other ones that if you grab one of ours, we're gonna grab five of yours. And that's what I'm talking about. Like our mentality is too like, bend over and catch. Like we don't, we're not aggressive. We need to get more
I,
aggressive.
f- I feel like like I feel like the reason why our country still exists is because we are a Catholic country, but at the same time, it's like just because we're Catholic doesn't mean we can't defend ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we can still defend ourselves, guys. It's not against the Bible to defend yourselves.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, look at all the wars that were in the Bible. Oh, a blood moon. You said the smartest thing I've heard in like a couple of live streams. Yes, Krav Maga. There's a lot of Krav Maga, which is Israeli defense, which is basically like how to defend yourself against a gun and a knife in a fight. So yes, if any of you guys gym is nice and lifting weights, but doesn't mean you can fight or defend yourself. So go to these classes, these Krav Maga classes, maybe MMA, maybe you go to a gun range, and usually on gun ranges, your local police forces are there, and they have tactical units. Go to your local police department and just ask. Let's be friends with the police. We don't have to hate them. Use them to your advantage. That's why we pay taxes, people. You know.
Yeah, I don't hate the police. The police, listen, the police are put in a situation where they're not paid enough for what they do. And the police in the Dominican Republic, they put up with a lot of stuff, man. They're not like the American cops where they just shoot immediately. They put up with like people hitting them, all kinds of stuff. right? Like these guys go through a lot. So I think the wages, need to be raised so that they don't feel the need to, you know, to 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 stop people and demand, money.
Talking about that, I remember earlier I was seeing some video of some woman that got a knife and she charged at a cop yelling Allah Akbar. And then I remember I was seeing this video in DR of this guy. He had a pistol, he had a gun, and he was aiming it at people. He was aiming it at the cops, and the Dominican cops were so fucking patient with this man. They grabbed him, pull his hand down, his arm down, pull the gun down, all of that. Like it was the amount of patience they had in America, he would have been shot like 20, 30, 40 fucking times. But the amount of patience they had was something else. In America, it's shoot, 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 shoot.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I
It's
mean
just
these, and also too is, yeah, like a lot of these cops, they're just hiring anyone now, and also too like a lot of them are ex-military, and ex-militaries aren't police officers. Like they're trained to shoot and kill. Like police officers are basically like there just to arrest people.
And their job should also be to like help people, if people are like drunk or something, if there's like a woman walking alone in the street or something like that, like there's so much more that police are meant to be doing. So I just feel like that's an American thing that that America has to. I mean, we also have problems with our police, but I just feel like Dominican police are just kind of like on another level.
I think it's just poverty and corruption, but I think there's still more humane in certain things.
Hmm.
And America police is more like a system, not so much personal community or person to person.
Right. So Centurion says the plan is to build a double fence with infrared cameras, facial recognition cameras, and motion sensors. Bueno, esa vaina va a ser high tech. ¿Cómo es que se dice high tech?
Well, I
Una
believe it
vaina
when I see it,
moderna, loco.
because I'm definitely going there in May. I'm going there in May. I want to go see it myself. So I'm gonna post it on my channel. So or probably I'll probably go live on Instagram if anything. So I just want to see it for myself. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll see. See what happens. If the government doesn't do it, then we'll just do it.
I think
MR says, hmm?
that's why I think. No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
MR asks a question. He says, Macho, what organization you want to create for DR?
For organization, I think one thing I want to tackle, and someone brought it up, is pedophilia. Like and like these predators going to DR and taking advantage of our kids. I want to create like a secret police force or a secret task force
Yeah.
just to combat them. Just to go around like and just combat. I think that's a real issue we have to tackle too.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be a problem with foreigners. Yeah, we should definitely there should be like a police like squad or something like I
And
don't
that's what
know,
I
like
think.
dedicated to that.
We have to militarize ourselves. I don't know if the government is willing to do it, but I think privately and everyone, like that's what I'm saying. Like learn how to arm yourself, learn how to shoot a gun, learn how to clean it, learn how to knife. Just get these skills because don't rely on the American government to do anything for you. But now we live in a world with so much resources available to us. Let's use it for our advantage to get better. And look, I'm following this girl on YouTube, and in DR they hold like military classes, like ex-military people, how to shoot a gun, how to how like like military tactics. I'll I don't have the link right now. I think a lot of you guys would be interested. What I'll do is if you follow me on IG, I'll post it, I'll repost it, and you guys can follow them, and it's impressive. It's really impressive.
And we just need to be optimistic and open-minded. If the government isn't getting things done, we need to try to speak to the local, alcalde, or disputado, and see like how we can help. You know what I mean? Like
Gotta,
maybe they are so busy and focused on something else, right? Something else might have just taken up all their time. So
we
maybe
gotta
they just
be,
need that reminder, every now
we
and then.
gotta, uh,
Yeah,
I think we gotta
Porque
be
uno
one
no
of
sabe.
them. We have to be secretive like the Trinitarios because we're being infiltrated. We have
yeah,
Haitians in the
yeah.
military. We have Haitians
Yep.
in the police force. So if we get together and we start talking about what we're gonna do, these same people that are infiltrating us are gonna be like, okay, so now we know what they're gonna do. We're not thinking militantly enough.
Mm,
And my real question is like, what is gonna cause? What is like? I remember last year we had the event, the Plaza La Bandera, and but what is gonna push it over the edge to cause it to finally
I know
come to
exactly what's going to
blows?
happen. It happens in every country, a tragedy. Look at, for example, here, 9/11. It took that in order for us to go into the Middle East and kick ass, and handle Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda's been around, whatever, but it took that to kind of freaking go and do it. And I think what's going to take in DR is a village, being ransacked by Haitians and them killing, a whole bunch of Dominicans. And then Dominicans will wake up.
Uh, I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen, but
But it doesn't
that
happen, but it's just the reality of life. Like people, like it's almost like this, like a funeral, right? In a funeral, that's where you meet most of your family. The tragedy.
mm,
That's where people get together. It's through a tragedy. I mean, it's just a common human thing, I guess, and I think we don't want to get there because we want to wake up and battle it. But I think that's what's going to take a freaking Haitian terrorist going in there, freaking kidnapping people, doing something, and then people going to wake up. But we're woke. This is the Dominican woke channel, quote unquote. So we know whatever. So I just advise everyone, get military tactical.
so Amar says, what are your future plans to help DR? I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. Invest in the country, you know, try to buy land, property, so that I can, you know, I have somewhere to live, right? So that I have land that I own, that is my own, and so that I have places that I can rent out to other Dominicans, or other Dominican businesses. Like really, like I mean, it's so simple, and you know it's such a simple thing, but investing in the country, right, and making smart investments, and bettering, helping to better like that community that you're in, right? Trying to use that like the trying to leverage, you know, the money that we make in a country like the United States, or in a European country, to better our situation, like to circulate the money more. Like that's I mean, Dominicans, they send a lot of things to the Dominican Republic every day, every month, every year. We're sending things, sending money, food, clothes, you know, and if my generation and the next generation isn't in touch with Dominican society, we can see that tradition stop. We can see that tradition like slow down, and that would be a bad thing, like economically for the Dominican Republic. So we need more of that. We need more Dominicans sending money, sending goods, you know, to Dominicans, and making sure that they get there to better the country from the bottom to the top, like whatever it takes.
No, I agree. And I have hope. Like your younger generation, you're smart. You're trying to be like less ghetto and stuff like that than we were in my generation. So I do have hope that the future generations are gonna wake up and fix the art. I'm not like, oh my God, it's doom. There's nothing we could do. Like I see like the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I do see the light at the end of the tunnel though.
Yeah, yeah. I think, people are just I don't know, I guess people are very pessimistic about the future of the country, but I'm looking at the country and I'm seeing so many amazing things happening. You know, there's terrible things happening, but there's also great things happening, like culturally as well. You know, um, the Dominican Republic, um, you know, in some places in the capital are very cultured. Very cultured. You know, it's like old Europe. In some places, um, in
Yeah,
terms of cultural,
cultural, and that's what people need to understand.
enrichment.
It's not race.
So
You know,
there's so many great things happening, and I'm optimistic. Um, I know a lot of people are skeptical of the new government, but I'm optimistic. I see that, maybe they are more liberal, more liberal leaning, but honestly, a good liberal um is fine with me. I would rather have an honest liberal than a lying conservative, you know what I mean? But we still have to we have yet to see, what the full,
would Bloomberg be considered like a good liberal,
Bloomberg.
E- even though he was
I
Republican? But I think
I don't
he's
Isn't
not.
isn't he a billionaire?
Yes, he's a billionaire.
Nah, he sold out.
You could be a give me a billion,
Not
I'll
because
sell out too.
not because not because he's a billionaire, but he belongs to those pedophile rings,
All
billionaires.
right. Let's not get into
that's kind
conspiracy
of
theories. Like,
that's
yeah,
a
it's
bit
that's
of
the
a
fetus.
stretch.
That's the
Yeah,
fetus.
isn't that
Yeah.
look?
I mean,
Haven't you heard of this
yes,
guy?
Jeffrey Epstein. Yes,
Exactly.
yes, I
Like
know.
all the proof,
Ghislaine
all the proof,
Maxwell and all that stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
I don't
all the
think all
proof is
rich
there,
people.
man. It's not a
Listen, I don't.
conspiracy. Have you seen the
Yeah,
movie
but
The Good?
how
I
but
think it's
how is
The
that?
Good
But how
Shepherd.
does that? Yes, but yes. Great movie. Great movie. The Good Shepherd. Yes. And it really details George Bush, because George Bush, that's how they started the CIA. It's basically like how they started the CIA.
Listen, if we didn't have billionaires, where would we be? I'm not saying that, nasty illegal behaviors are okay. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying like,
Nothing wrong with being a billionaire. I want
but
to be a billionaire.
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't
be a
say there's
billionaire
a
eventually. Oh my God!
yeah,
But it's a
like
it's a club.
there's good billionaires, there's bad
Yeah.
billionaires, and there's lukewarm billionaires. It's like we can't put them all in like one, But in terms of Bloomberg, the only thing that I know about this guy is from when he was mayor in New York City and he did stop and frisk, and I think the shootings went down like dramatically, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he did the stop and frisk, but that was an extension of Giuliani's program. Giuliani is
Oh,
really
okay, so he just
responsible.
kept it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he kept it.
okay.
And New York
Okay.
is always better when it's a Republican. I don't know, when it's a Republican mayor for some reason. When it's a Democratic mayor, it's just chaos. But then when a Republican
That's what
comes
I've
in,
heard.
there's order.
That's
Look,
what I've
when
heard.
was it? Like the '70s, New York in the '70s, there was to be they used to be like 3,000 murders per year. It's a complete liberal city, 3,000 murders, and then Ed Koch came in. I think Ed Koch was Democrat or Republican. I'm not sure. He cleaned it up a little bit,
Look at
but then
California and
David,
the whole West Coast.
excuse me.
Look at California and the whole West Coast right now.
Yeah, now California. I think it was crazy. We're gonna get to that because California has taken over the world with their mindset, but that's another thing. Um, then David Dinkins came, and it was towards the late '80s, early '90s, and it was still kind of rough. But then once Giuliani came in, you saw the change right away. Like you saw the cops come in. That's when TNT came in, when they used to just raid the drug dealers spots, like Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like they really put a tactical unit to like end like drug dealing and stuff in the city. So, and that's what I think we need to. I mean, in the Dominican Republic, we need to create a Republican Party, like a Dominican Republican Party, just Republican. I think it's too liberal all around. Like there's no opposition to the liberalism in DR, and I think that needs to be created because the name of the country is Dominican. What? Republic.
Republic.
We're a republic, not a democracy. We're a republic, and when you're a republic, you're all about country, defending the country.
I think I've said this before, joking around, but I'm half serious. Uh, I think we could bring back the Dominican Party, and I know people have issue, they're gonna have an issue with that because that was a party that I believe Trujillo started, and he passed on to some other presidents, and then Balaguer. But the Dominican Party, I feel, is like the party that has done the most. If we're looking at it objectively, is the party that has done the most uh, for building the Dominican Republic, and making it, you know, a, a country worth noting. And it's
For
also
real?
is
I thought it
probably
was the
the
PLD.
the Dominican Party is probably the most nationalistic party, and it's called the Dominican Party. Hello. So
Oh,
some historians might know more about it, like the deep stuff, like the whole like how the party is set up and everything like that.
yeah,
But I would say, we might not even have to create something new. We could just revive that.
with the people, not like through. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Get people like, hey, like, how about we just bring back this party? We just dust it off, and
And the thing is, that's why people, with Trujillo, it's almost like hindsight's 2020. Like you can even ask the people who lived through the thing, like they go, oh, he was bad, but it was order. Like, and like if you were a criminal, like your ass was done. Like if you out there committing crimes, like your ass was, they're gonna shoot you. Like
yeah, those times were very safe. I always hear that Trujillo's time period was people could leave their doors unlocked. The streets were more clean.
They had
Eh,
school buses for children.
no se
It was
atracaba.
it was almost like DR was like a little America in a way.
Um, yeah, it was really if you look at the older videos, I have some on my channel of that time period or around that time period. Things look great. It
In
in some
order.
ways huh?
It looked like it was in order, like the country should be.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
it like in its normal in its normal, state, I
you know
would
what,
say.
Trujillo regime reminded me of? It's almost like did anyone see Narcos season 2 when it was like part 1 was Pablo and then they killed him, and then part 2 was the Cali cartel? I don't know if anyone has watched it, and like the difference between the two. Like you see, Pablo's was very violent, was very chaotic, was very power hungry, but the Cali cartel moved more like the CIA. They were very quiet. They controlled the phones. Like if you were to call in, they knew what was being said by everyone, and that's what Trujillo really did. It's like
Yeah,
he just
yeah,
he had a very organized apparatus. Yes, no
yeah,
one really had like the pure freedom or whatever, but just like he was highly organized. Like he had probably like OCD in that sense. Like I could imagine like you'll see a cup and it's like this. He had OCD and he
Well,
put it all around the country.
at that level, like being a president and organizing, well, a dictator, and trying to just bring a country to its best and develop a country and do all of these things is a lot of management and tedious things and great detail. There is a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do. So I think there's sometimes dictatorships are good. Dictatorships are good for one example is developing a country, being able to unite all the resources and all the people in one direction for the better of the country. So because when you're a dictator, you tell everybody do this, do this, do this. So if you organize it and tell everybody do this, and do this, and we do it the right way, then we have a specific good outcome. But if we're all just doing whatever we want because we're a democracy and all this shit, we're never gonna get anywhere because we're just scattered all around doing whatever we want to do and not on one particular same mission. So sometimes dictatorships is good. Other times when it's done wrong,
Yeah.
it's bad.
And every dictatorship is not like it's not the same. It's not like a broad stroke, like oh dictatorship and they
Right.
all run it the same way. It means one guy is making all the. It's like a CEO or like the owner of the company. He has the final say in everything.
Or like a father of a household and all the children and the wives,
Yeah,
and he just put it
and
in
good
order.
thing. That's a good thing. It's true. Like I always say, like when you have a family, you have to run it like you're running a country. You gotta have an orderly house. So it gotta be nice and clean. You got to make sure your children do their homework. You just got to have order. You got to make sure your woman respects you, and she looks up to you, and you have to, lead by example.
Yeah. I think, before some people have a freaking heart attack, um, we're not saying that everything Trujillo did was good, but the good things that he did, we should be moving towards implementing the good things he did. And,
I
I
would.
when I speak about Trujillo, I'm speaking about the good things, and I'm using him as a symbol because he is probably one of the most powerful Dominican men of all history. So I
Yeah,
just feel like he's
He was the
very,
most influential. Yeah,
and also
his
too,
image is fitting for.
he was the best
the
because the
peso
thing
was
is,
equal to the dollar.
yeah, Trujillo
And
was the first experimental dictator in Latin America. Because remember, he was trained by the U.S. and U.S. throughout the past, I would say, 20th century, they put puppets all across, different various
Latin
countries.
America.
So he was the first experimental, quote unquote, puppet dictator, and he was the best. So he was the first, and he was the best with results. You know,
He industrialized Dominican Republic. He actually made merengue. I think it was merengue or bachata or both of them. He made it famous. He
no,
literally
merengue,
made
merengue.
merengue. Okay,
He
yeah,
made it
merengue. I know it's one of them.
the national. Yeah, he made it the national. You
Exactly.
heard the merengue? Have you heard the merengue song about Trujillo? Have you heard it?
No, I don't think so.
I think
Oh, you
I've
can look it up on
heard there.
YouTube.
There
Yeah,
should be a couple.
yeah. I've heard it before. It's like, once he nationalized it, there was a couple of songs already, merengue, like old merengue, just about Trujillo and stuff.
He basically got a blueprint, or whether he was taught that, or whether he knew, or whether that was his own thing. But he got a blueprint of what a country is, how you develop a nation, nation culture, national civics, and everything. He even moved people around the country to mix and have like
Hmm.
a more of a Dominican look and everything. He made us who we are, really.
Yeah, I would like to like really, I've read Trujillo's books, but from an American's perspective, I have two books. But I want to really get like a detailed thing of like his programs, what he did, he actually did, and how he improved it. Like I really want to sit down and actually analyze that and have all my facts. So one day maybe we could have a podcast, a show where we kind of break down. Okay, number one, this is what he did. They were ranked here, but then doing certain initiatives, they went. You get what I'm saying? Like to kind of detail, like micromanage his improvements to the country. I would really like to do like a deep dive, you know?
You mentioned something about Trujillo, like mixing people. Like what's that? I haven't heard that.
Um, I mean, that's what I what I heard, I don't remember exactly from where, but he moved certain populations to certain areas in DR. He also imported a lot of immigrants from different countries
Yeah. So basically,
to the
like
country.
Uh,
he needed, like I think with the Spaniards, the Spaniards were agriculture. Like he needed like
And
to improve in agriculture, so he bought a lot of Spaniards who were experts, and then
and
he brought them in there.
Lebanese
Yeah, and Lebanese, so it's almost like a
and too.
company. Like you see Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk. He surrounds himself with the best all across the world. Chinese, Russian, anything. Like, oh, this and basically that's what Trujillo was. It was like a corporation. The DR was a corporation, the Trujillo Corporation. So he surrounded himself with all the best talent across the world to make DR a superpower, and that's what America does the same thing too. America imports all
yeah,
the genius minds from all across to improve and to keep us going. And I think DR needs to do the same. Like get Chinese people in there, get freaking people from Saudi Arabia, get people from different parts that could help. You know, and of course we learn from them too. Like, not just like, oh, let them do it. No, we go next to them like, okay, how do you do this? Da, 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 and then we do it. You get what I'm saying? Like we're all trying to learn and get better, like even in life. So I think we, the Dominican Republic should do the same thing. Just import all the greatest minds to help, because we want to be a superpower. Like I could ask anyone, do you want DR to be a top five country in the world? And whoever says no, it's like, you get what I'm saying? Like it's almost like having a team. Like I root for the Knicks. I want to see the Knicks win the championship. I don't want them to be in the bottom. you know. So it's just that. It's like a team. Like you want. It's like the Yankees. The Yankees import all the best baseball players from the league. They pay them top dollar so they can win championships. That's it.
um, so what? Okay, so America, I feel like America is was at its best, and people are gonna they're gonna have a heart attack when I say this. I think America is at its best when the the uh the majority of the population was just like from like Europe,
And you know what?
like
I
just
agree because
European
someone
people.
told me the same thing. Someone told me the same
Yeah,
thing, and it was someone I know who's white Jewish, and I know this guy. So he's like, you know what ruined the neighborhood? I was like, what? Civil rights. And it's like, what? I was like, whoa, like, I was like, why? That's just not right. It's like, look, we had an orderly neighborhood. Washington Heights. Washington Heights was mostly like German. It used to be called Frankfurt Town because there was a lot of Germans up here. Then the Irish came, the Italians and the Cubans, then the Puerto Ricans, then the Dominicans. You get what I'm saying? So,
mm,
because you even look at some structures in the buildings here in Washington Heights, it's very Dutch and German. So
mm.
anyway, so he told me, I'm like, wait, but you're a liberal. Like, why would you go against civil rights? He's like, look, I'm not against civil rights, but we had an ordered community. Then we were forced to bring kids from Harlem into our schools, and then that's when the fights started happening. That's when a whole bunch of tension started happening. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And
Just
I
putting
Harlem
don't.
is
like
a Dutch story.
different people in the same place.
Yeah, it's like almost, it's almost like you're forced to, and I don't really consider that racist. It's almost like if I have an apartment or a house, and then something happens, disaster, oh, boom, freaking earthquake or whatever, and then people are like, oh, let's do an initiative of people bringing homes, people bringing people into their homes. Let's say you have a 4 bedroom, two baths, and there's an initiative. The government says, oh, you gotta have 2 extra people in your house. Like, okay, you bring those 2 people, and then things start missing. They're not cleaning. They're talking back at you. You fight. It's like, fuck. I don't like this initiative. You get what I'm saying? You have every right to to complain about certain things if it's not to your benefit. That's how I feel. You know.
I feel like America just operated better when people looked similar. Like, I feel you can't have like racism if everyone looks the same. You know what I mean? You can't have like
And the thing
colorism if
is,
everyone.
I'm sorry, and I don't want to sound sexist, but unfortunately, we live in an era where women are starting to outnumber men. Like in a lot of spheres, political spheres, universal spheres, it's mostly women. So women's natural thing is to like coddle. It's a maternal nature. You get what I'm saying? Your mom goes and you fall. Ay, mi hijo, mi hijo. And the dad's like, get up, like the dad shows
Bora,
strength. Like you
muchacho.
can't, oh coño, vaya a coger otra vez, coño. We show them that strength. Like yo, you're down, but get your ass up. But the mom is like, I te doliste. It's their natural kind of way. And I think now they're being introduced into like nation building, and now we gotta sit down and listen to them. Like, oh my god, I'm not saying all women are like that because look at Yadira Marte. Like she plays no games, and she'll go into
Right.
a room full of men, and she'll dominate all of them. But I feel like we're putting too much emotional things into our nation building. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I think, some people have an issue with women in power, but I feel like some women are just built for that. Some
Yeah,
women are
some women
just
are.
like literally built to like run things. Yeah, I don't think it's most women. I don't think most women are
Yeah,
interested in that. But there are women who are just built like that, right? Like
you gotta be
queens
exceptional.
throughout
You gotta be exceptional.
Europe, right?
Margaret Thatcher
And
in England.
Yeah, they're very women are very good at being very organized, very specific to like paying
Yeah,
attention to everything. That's why they make
right.
like good accountants, good
yeah,
assistant, good
secretaries,
paralegals. And stuff like that. Yeah, because they're paying attention to those kinds of things.
and also
And if
too
we
like
even if we have a man in power, like it doesn't hurt to have a female perspective, like female advisors in certain things, you know, because women do their brain does work differently, so they can pick up on things that we can't pick up on, and vice versa.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, one thing I'm gonna give a ode to all Dominican women, a lot of Dominican women that I even follow now, like they're hustlers. They're their own businesses. Um, I'm following someone on Instagram that opened up like a smoothie shop, and these girls are like 21, 22 years old, like four of them, and I'm like, whoa, that's so impressive. Like, this young generation, they're not settling like when my generation did. We settled. This young generation, they're going for it. So I like, I thought I'm like, oh, do you guys deliver? It's like, oh, no, not yet, but whatever. I'm gonna support them and buy them, buy a couple of smoothies. And that's how, doing things like that is what you do for your community. People could criticize like, oh, Macho talks this, he's gonna do that. But it's the little things, Go instead of going to Whole Foods, vaya para supermercado, that's owned by a Dominican. Yeah, it might be a little more, but you're still putting money into the community. Instead of doing Uber, let's go back to get putting money into Liberty cabs. You know, like
Mm,
get Uber out of here. That's a super corporation. I think that's even owned by Google. So
mm.
like stop giving money to the top 1%. Because really the middle class is what makes a country. Once you eradicate the middle class, I mean, your country's over. So just little things like that. Just put money into your community. And also too, being a baseball coach. Doing mentoring. That's doing stuff for the community. And it only takes like maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. A week. We're not asking for much, but if a lot of people do it, we could change. You know?
I feel like this might sound silly, but I feel like Dominicans should buy like a Dominican flag, preferably a big one, and just hang it up somewhere in your room.
Oh, I'm doing
So
that. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. I'm
whenever
doing
you
actually. I'm doing that, and
mhm.
I'm gonna post it.
Whenever you wake up, you go to bed, you're always gonna see that flag there, and it's gonna become a part of you. It's gonna
That's
really,
that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Dion. I like it.
it's a very symbolic thing. It's a very beautiful flag, and it might sound silly, but it's something that we should be proud of, and I mean, God's first, right? God, we
Yeah,
we should
God is first. Without
only
him, we're
kneel to
nothing.
God.
Yeah, without a
Right.
God,
Everything,
without him, I'm
everything.
nothing.
Whenever we feel proud, whenever we feel arrogant, whenever we feel like we can do anything, it's because of God. It's because of God that we can feel that way.
Yeah, just
Because if
wake
God
up.
is with you, you can
Yeah,
do anything.
that's right. I 100% agree with that. Every morning, wake up, kneel, and you don't have to be the biggest Bible guy or even the church guy, but give respect to the Maker. For giving you, blessing you for another day of waking up. You know, because every day I say we live and we die, and we resurrect each day. So give respect for you to live. And so first what you do, you get up, you kneel, and you give your blessings. And the blessings doesn't have to be the same. Maybe each day it's a different motif. So you make your bed first. No, actually you pray first. Pray first, then make your bed nice and neat. Don't just put something up. Make sure it's nice and tight. Go to the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, and I'll preferably read a book. Read a book. Because your brain, is asleep, so you got to wake it up and enrich it. Drink 32 ounces of water, preferably like lemon and like alkaline water. Drink that, and I love my coffee. I drink it just straight black because it's what's it called? It's good for your stomach. Like it makes you go to the bathroom quick. You know, you got to wake up and empty out everything. Make sure you go to the bathroom at least 3 times a day. Empty those bowels because
Diuretic.
what's up?
It's a diuretic.
Yeah, a diuretic or what's it called? Antioxidant. An antioxidant too. An antioxidant. So make sure you flush your system. So you go to work, everyone works, or you go to school, you handle that, and then after that, exercise. Maybe do some push-ups, sit-ups. Go for a jog. So you handle that, and then you eat right, and then that's it. You've kind of completed so many tasks within the day. Look at news. Try to find out, if you can network with people, like where, in a sphere like this, we can network, like constantly, like just keep improving, improving, improving. So once the day's over, you're like, this was a good day, a productive day. Like produce, let's produce each day, you know?
Right. I think one thing I should start doing is having like a little prayer in the beginning. Um, I think Rancho started doing that. That's pretty cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that, like, I'm not the biggest religious person. Like I'm not really deep into it, but I do give respects to the maker all the time. And I always Mariano Rivera, right? Mariano Rivera, one of my favorite baseball players of all time, was arguably he used to strike out people in one pitch. You knew what was coming and you couldn't hit it. But every time, like, they would try to give him glory. Oh, Mariano Rivera, you did great. You did great out there tonight. He says, no, I didn't do anything. It was the man upstairs. He's great. I'm nothing. He will always say that. He
Right.
would never take credit for nothing.
Listen, man, I know God. I Nothing I do is because of me. Trust me, it's not. It's not. Nothing great that I will accomplish, nothing great that I've accomplished is because of me. I'm dust, I'm dirt, I'm nothing without God. And I feel like everyone, if you understand that, I mean, you'll have such a better understanding of like how life works, and
Mhm.
you won't, things like hate won't consume you, like, anger, things like that.
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, I wonder, like, all of this stuff going on in DR, like, it's an issue. Sometimes I just wonder, when is God gonna say, "That's it, no more," and then the shit turns over. So it's like I just believe in God for it, because even when leaders are put in place, whether they're good or bad, God gave the authority and permission for those leaders to be put in there, whether it was Hitler or Trujillo or Leonel or whoever, or this Lebanese guy, Luis Abinader. So I just wonder, like when is God gonna say enough is enough, and we start just deporting all these people and getting our shit back together? Because
Mm,
right now, like I said, they need authority to do certain things, right? So if God does not want Haiti to just right now say, you know what, we're just gonna go to war, start killing everybody, and just go haywire, because there's over maybe not 4 million Haitians, but there's 3 million Haitians in DR, and not to mention everyone else in Haiti. So they could rebel right now, but there's only that little one thing stopping it from going down is God.
I believe so, and I feel like if Dominicans turn away from like the things of this world that are just bad for us, right? I mean, we're never gonna stop sinning. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop sinning, but the less you sin, the more blessed you will be. So if we can just stop doing like you know, before we sin, before we have a sinful thought, just catching ourselves like, no, this is not the right thing to do. And even
that's
if we think it's
impossible.
the right thing to do, even if we think it's the right thing to do, like in reality it's not. Like, but our understanding is like so limited, right? Because we don't know what our decisions are going to lead to. We don't know what chain reactions it's going to cause. God knows that stuff. We don't, right? So like one example, just one little example, very simple and very simply said, having sex outside of marriage. If you have sex outside of marriage, you have an increased chance of getting an STD, right? There's a consequence to that, right or wrong.
That might be true. I don't have the stats, but that might be true.
Yeah,
There's a
maybe
consequence to
possible.
that, right? Like having sex outside of marriage, there's a very obvious
Or
objective consequence,
having kids out of wedlock, that could happen.
right? Having kids out of wedlock, like it's something very simple like that. It just makes sense to someone who is Christian or Catholic. It just makes sense. You don't have to be even religious to for that to make sense in your mind.
That's why King David is my hero, because he had hundreds of wives and hundreds of concubines, and he was a man after God's own heart, and God still loved him and forgave him, and he went to heaven, and it was all good. He's probably the man that got the most pussy ever in humanity, other than Solomon. But King Solomon started seeking other gods. So yeah,
As soon as like these great leaders, these great people just turn from God, everything crumbles, man. And that's how life is, man. That's how countries are. That's how it is, man.
it is. It is because Venezuela. This guy. I don't know if it was Hugo Chavez or one of them. He was like, "Oh, I don't believe in God," and then soon afterwards, the shit started going downwards for Venezuela.
Yeah, and it's like, for people who are not, who don't understand the message of God, it's like it sounds like hogwash. But it's so true. Like it's so true, man. Like the Bible says, to be fruitful, right? If Dominicans were being fruitful right now, we would not have like a demographic problem. Okay? If we outnumbered every like, illegal foreigner in the country 1 to 10, we wouldn't even be talking about this. This would be irrelevant.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like it's like it's so simple. Everything is in the Bible. I always say that. Well, maybe not on stream, but I in my daily, I say this like the Bible has everything you need to like be a good human being and to be a happy, successful human being. You just gotta
I
read
agree.
it, and it'll come to you.
I agree. And it also says in the Bible that his God's laws are written in the hearts of his children. So oftentimes we already know it before we even read it. Because when we know right from wrong, when you like have a situation and you just know what is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, whether it is obvious or not, that's basically the same thing as God, the Bible speaking to you on what to do.
Right. And some of us have to find God the hard way. Some of us have to go through some crazy stuff. Some of us don't. You know, I had to go through some crazy experiences, crazy stuff. But you know, I'm grateful because I reconnected with God. I've never been an atheist. There was never a point in my life where I didn't believe in a God, because that's outside of my understanding. Like God not existing. I feel like you either believe in God or you reject God. There's no like not believing in God. You know what I mean? It's like, but yeah,
Yeah,
like we,
I'm
we all have
thinking
different ways that we get to that God communicates with us, and like this what people are listening to right now, this is the easy way. Okay, this is the easy way. It's me telling you on a YouTube video, you know, pick up the Bible, you know, read the New Testament, the Old Testament, read Book of John, Revelations, these very important books in the Bible. And it's like out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere. They didn't even see it coming. And this is the easy way. You guys do not want to find out the hard way. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, life is real, man. You know. But yeah, I think in our culture is very ingrained to believe in God and just the character and the nature of God and being forgiving and loving and family and things like that, that we naturally do it on a day-to-day life. And it plays out and it bears fruit in our culture and in our country, whether we're perfect or not. Human beings are never going to be perfect, but that's besides the point. It's like how we, at the end of the day, our heart is what matters and how we treat each other and what we do. And when we do things out of love and not hate.
Right. And doing things, the right way. Cause like, you know, you know, we we're having this immigration issue, right, in our country. And there's some people who are saying like, "Hey, just pick up guns and wipe them out," right? And there's people that are saying, that are on the opposite end. They're like, "No, no, no, you can't. You're being racist, blah blah blah." But the answer is somewhere, in the middle. It's like, well, why are they in the country? Because they're being hired. Who's hiring them? Dominicans and these companies, these foreign investors are hiring them. So how do we stop them from hiring these illegal workers, because they're breaking the law. They're breaking the law. It's that they're breaking the law. So what they're doing is not even legal. So on the most basic level, we just have to enforce our laws. We just have to enforce our immigration laws.
We gotta get
And
rid of that government. They don't care about Dominican people, anything Dominican. They're all sellout. Because if they wanted to, if the government says tomorrow, hey, let's start deporting all of these illegal immigrants because they're here illegally, obviously. So we have the right to
right,
do so. There's
right.
nothing stopping them from doing that. They could do that today.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, because I don't know. Like I just don't like the government. Is like that's something. Maybe back in the days it was like simpler, but now it's like very. I'm sure it's very complicated. But I mean, but like to the average person, it's like, why can't they just get the
There's
military
no,
to round them up? You know,
they can.
if they don't have documents, then they're not from the country. If they can't produce documents, if they can't have an ID, if they can't be identified, They're probably illegal. They're probably illegal immigrants.
They don't want to do it because there's so much proof everywhere. Like people giving false documents, false cedulas of people that passed away, people that are deceased, of people
There's got to be
that
a way
people
to
robbing people's identities and giving them to Haitians. Like it's just the government doesn't want to do it, bro, because they could just do it tomorrow. Literally, we've always deported them massively. I remember one of my family members telling me how Balaguer, I think it was, deported a whole bunch of them. Like you just see them outside walking all the way to Haiti. But it's just literally they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's the government. They don't want to do it.
so maybe the deportations are one issue, but like re-entering the country, maybe that's another one, right? So the patrol, like the people who patrol the border, they are not being
That's
paid enough.
definitely an issue.
They are not being paid
Someone's
enough,
sending them too.
right? Because some of the guards are taking bribes because they're simply not paid enough, right? So another aspect of that is like making sure that these guys, uh, first of all, making sure that we get the right guys, okay? Making sure that we get guys who are very nationalistic, very proud of their country, who would die for their country. Get those guys, those Dominicans at the border, and then pay them a decent salary so that they don't feel like they have to take bribes in order to, have a meal, in order to feed their families and stuff like that.
They even had soldiers being killed by these illegal immigrants, and the government act like it ain't like they don't care. Bunch of times.
So it's there are so many ways that we could tackle that issue, but the way that would solve the way that we would solve that problem, because when countries don't don't when God isn't present in a nation, the nation might be a very rich country, it might be a very well-known country. They might be good people, quote unquote good, whatever that means. But there's always going to be something that will just take it all away. So like, I feel like I really feel like, Dominicans have to turn to God and and get that understanding, get that mental clarity, uh, so that we know how to fix this.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think someone wants to join. Let me read some of the comments. But yeah, I mean, today's a great day. We're alive today. We woke up this morning. Um, so we haven't been defeated yet. We haven't lost yet. There's still there's still like there's still hope. There's still a chance for us to do right. And to fix. And we're just talking about one issue, but there's many issues, and we can tackle all these issues together.
Well,
Hey, what's going on?
happy
What's going on,
independence,
bro?
happy
Thanks,
Independence Day
bro.
to y'all. So,
Gracias,
what do
gracias.
I have like a question for you guys. What do you think, like a non-Dominican Hispanic, how could we help the situation in DR? Like me as an outsider,
I got
what
an
do you think we
I
could
got
do
an
to help?
idea. One way y'all could help is not believing or not accepting the narrative, the propaganda, the slander, and the defamation against Dominicans when it comes to Dominican Republic and Haiti relations. That they want to paint us as racist, xenophobic haters just because we are exercising our independence and sovereignty and immigration rights and the right to what you gonna call it, manage and take care of our immigration issues, just like every single country does. But when we do it, only when we do it, we're racist, haters, phobic. But yet you got so many countries. You got Bahamas, Peru, Chile, Mexico, Brazil, Panama deporting them. But when we do it, we're bad. We're very bad people. We're the worst people on earth. And Dominicans are racist and hate themselves. But that's not true.
I really don't believe the narrative already. Is there something else? What do you think? I mean, because
Maybe
we don't have enough say on it.
I think in Hispanic America or Latin America, I think we should all be helping each other. So uh like investing in each other's nations,
Yeah,
um
Trade,
that's a great idea.
trade.
trade.
I mean, I think what we could do like individuals is when we buy in the supermarket, look for things made in Latin America. Like like if you see a Dominican product, help by buying that product. And if you see like a Mexican product, do that as well. Support like the local businesses owned by Hispanic people. I think
Hmm.
that's a good way to circulate the money.
Yeah, and um I think we should also uh visit like each other's countries, so that we can learn from each other. Because if we're doing this over here in the Dominican Republic, right? Like we're having like these nationalistic, you know, this nationalistic wave. I feel like, depending on who you speak to, right? Because certain Hispanics, they look at Latin America as like one civilization, and and many of us look at it as like uh many smaller civilizations, part of one big civilization, right? So kind of like how Spain has different like like areas, right? Like there's Catalonia, there's the Basque people, there's Andalus, like kind of like that, but like on a big scale. So I feel like we should circulate money around like we should fix our countries and then other countries, that are near to us, and like that, like make sure that money is circulating around and that we can build each other up.
And another thing I believe we should do is avoid conflicts with each other, like pointless conflicts, because it tends to happen. Like
uh yeah, I think there's I think in Latin America, like in South America and Central America, I feel like there's like so many conflicts and stuff that in the Caribbean we haven't like got to that. I mean, at one point we were close to going to war with Cuba, but I feel like that's something that we tend to get along up here.
Why
And
was that? Why was that?
huh?
Why was there possibly a war?
Oh, because of Cuba, communism and stuff. You
What,
know,
you wanted to spread communism here? I think my mother told me about that one time, that there was a moment, like a little movement in DR where they was trying to spread communism, and they had to kill
yeah,
all of them.
yeah. That we almost went to war, but you know we're pretty chill up here. We talk shit about each other, of course. The shit talking is just, it comes with it. But we tend to get along, and I feel like maybe South America could some places in South America could learn from that. You see what I mean? Like we can learn from each other. Um, because there are things that we can learn from Latin American, like in South America. There's things that we could learn from you guys, and there's things that you guys can learn from us. and you know, there's like there's like so much room for growth.
Yeah, you're right about that. Definitely. Yeah, shout out to you for opening the eyes of people on related to DR. Like before Chivo's rants, I didn't know knew about that issue you people were facing. So Chivo actually helped a lot to spread awareness to what's happening over there.
Yeah, yeah, he did, and nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny that Chivo, didn't, bring Hispanics together on like one common cause. Like, it might be, shit posting, shit posting about black people and stuff like that. Just shit posting in general. Uh, Shit posting about each other. Calling everyone is accusing each other of being Jews and blacks, and
Not
it's
for nothing.
hilarious.
But
It's,
has anyone ever heard of Cam 123?
I heard
He
of
was a
him, but I never seen any videos. Like I look it up and
yeah.
there's absolutely nothing.
He got banned or they flagged him, but he was like one of the first to make videos exposing these people and all the shit that they be doing and the debauchery and all that shit. Basically, what we speak about, but more on a general Latin America, Mexico, South America, stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. When if they ever open a bodega where I live in, I'll be sure to hit it up. I
yeah,
think
bro.
that's
I
a small
mean,
way to help. All right,
yeah, yeah.
I'ma hit up.
Dominicans, we're always buying Mexican food. You know, we love we love Mexican food. Obviously we buy our own food as well. Like when it comes to like Hispanic businesses, Dominicans have no issues spending money in other Hispanic businesses whatsoever. It's like, yeah, like why not? But we have to build our own businesses first, before we can do that. Oh yeah, I think this guy is right about this. The Cuban pilots refused to bomb certain places in DR because they did not want to kill their DR brothers. So Castro changed the targets. Yep, I remember hearing that they felt like they didn't want to kill their brothers. Yep, I remember hearing that. And if it was me in that situation, I would feel the same way. Okay, it's called Operación Pico when Cuba and the DR almost went to war. All right, so if you guys want to learn about that, it's kind of interesting. You can check that out. Yeah, man, we need to listen. If we're gonna listen to music, we need to listen to like, you know, Hispanic music, yo. Like, if you're gonna listen to trash, you might as well listen to the trash in Spanish. All right, you might as well listen to it. I guess, not if it's gonna be trash, make it basura. All right. I just feel like um, it's just the having listening to music in Spanish, it just brings Hispanics together, you know, and it makes you want to speak Spanish. It does. It makes you want to speak Spanish. If you listen to Spanish music, if you just like when you hear Spanish, it makes you want to speak it and you don't even realize it. Mm. Pablo said Bad Bunny. I don't know, man. Some of Bad Bunny stuff is kind of weird. kind of
Yeah,
weird to this.
he be talking about Lucifer and shit like that.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. I don't know, man. He might not be a he might not be a man of God. You know what I mean? So we need to try to find música sana, como se dice en español. Música sana. You know, music that's not so many curse words. Not so vulgar. I mean, that's the direction that we should be going. Mm. And I know in Miami, there's Miami is very different from like LA or like New York City. It's very different. Like Miami, you're always hearing Spanish, right? So like when you're taking the taxi or you're taking the Uber, it's almost always, Spanish music, you know. Um, when you're walking around the city, you hear people speaking Spanish almost everywhere. It blew my mind when I went there and like everyone just kind of spoke Spanish. It was like this is so cool. Like, that was just my thought. Like this is so cool. Almost everybody speaks Spanish. And it's very nice because a place like Miami, it feels like Latin America and the United States at the same time. It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, at least in that part of Florida. Other parts, it's not so much. At least not all the time. But
And in my last stream, what's in my last stream? Let me see. Yeah, in my last stream, where it was called "How Can Dominicans Go Back to the Dominican Republic?" I was saying that, to make it easier for Dominicans, to make the mental burden, the financial burden easier to move to the Dominican Republic. The first step you could do is, well, first of all, get Dominican citizenship if you don't already have one, and you can do that at like a local Dominican consulate or embassy, I believe. Just call your local consulate or embassy and ask, what you need to bring, how much money you need to bring, if you need to bring it in cash, stuff like that. What I hear and what I've seen is that they ask for your one of your parents' IDs for your birth certificate and like a couple $100. It's what I hear and what I heard someone say on the stream and what I've seen. So if you don't already have that, you should get that and then move to a place like uh Miami or Puerto Rico. And the reason why I say Miami or Puerto Rico is because those are Spanish Hispanic areas that are still within the United States. So you might not even have to, find a new career, in the Dominican Republic. Like you might not have to start from zero, again. You could probably continue working what you're doing, but like, in a place like Miami or Puerto Rico, and then slowly, make the transition to the Dominican Republic. Because if you're in Miami or in Puerto Rico, that's like 1 hour to 2 hour flight. That's nothing. That's like a drive to the mall for some people. That's quick. That's quick and easy, So you can make that trip and you can start, checking out places, to live, places to buy property, maybe places to open a business. Whenever you have free time, you can just take a flight real quick and check it out, and I feel like that would make the burden easier. Uh, Now, um, the goal is not to stay in the United States. That is not the goal. But if you want to make it easier, more comfortable, that's what I would recommend. is to try to move to that area, and you're going to be exposed to Hispanics, and then you can slowly make that transfer. Or if you have family in the Dominican Republic, you could just, that's a different situation. Then you could just quit. You could sell all your stuff, sell your home, sell the bull crap, right? You know, sell everything except like your phone, right? You keep your phone, your Bible, clothes, go to the Dominican Republic and just kick it with your family. Because I know some people, they got it, they got a bunch of family, you know, they're living, tan viviendo heavy allá. And it's a breeze, right? So if that's you, if you could just do that, if you could just pick up and move to the country, you should do that. But for the rest of us who are lazy or snobby, you know, it's gonna take us a little bit longer, and it's gonna, uh, you know, it needs to be a little more comfortable and more stably, you know, more I don't know, more planning is required. And some people might not do that. Some people might stay in places like New York City or Philadelphia or New Jersey City or whatever, and I don't see a problem with that. Um, I think Dominicans, there should be a presence in New York City, but if Dominicans are going to continue to be in New York City, we have to we have to be able to disconnect from like the negative things in New York City, the negative culture. Like we're gonna have to disconnect from those things. And if there are gonna be Dominicans in New York City, you're gonna
I
have to
think
make a
I think we're gonna have to start owning more different kinds of businesses and start owning like
mhm
a lot of more different things to make more
mhm
money and build and create a bigger community where we can spread money and keep the money in our community, but at a bigger scale and
mhm
at a bigger level than we ever have been.
mhm exacto. Um, and for Dominicans that are gonna stay in New York, or in Philadelphia or any of these places like in the Northeast, make sure that you always take a trip to the Dominican Republic so that you don't lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're gonna be in that kind of environment, that gritty kind of environment, in a way it kind of destroys culture. If Dominicans are gonna be in an environment like that, make sure that you always are visiting the country frequently and that you kind of stick with each other. You know what I mean? So there's options here. You know what I mean? There's right, and that benefits all of us if we have business connections in New York City, in Miami, you know, in places in Europe, in Spain, in Switzerland, in the Dominican Republic, in Puerto Rico. This helps us, you know, and all over Latin America and Mexico, you know, Brazil, like all these places. It it's ultimately help us, you know, but we're you know, we need to keep in mind, you know, that Dominicans, we're a small group of people, so we need to kind of stick to these places that we're in right now, okay? So we need to kind of stick together because we're a small group of people, okay? But once, you know, once our population grows, then we can kind of, you know, expand out and supporting, you know, other Latin American countries in our own way. Mm. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna end the stream in like like 25 minutes, something like that, just to be what's the word? Um, just to take other people's time into account. I know that today is Independence Day, and some people are probably gonna go party, or they're already partying, or whatever, or it's just a weekend. Um, but I just wanted to do a stream for today, and talk about some important things real quick. Because I've had a long day, and the if the streams are shorter, it makes it easier for people to listen. It makes it easier for the information to be uh received, and it doesn't take up too much time of because I respect everyone's time, and I think we should respect each other's time. That's something that Dominicans should start doing. What type of big businesses do Dominicans in DR own? I'm sure there are Dominicans who have. I mean, that's a really weird way of asking that question. When okay, so Blood Moon in particular, when you ask things like that, it makes me wonder, like, are you really Dominican? Like, it's like your tone. It's always like you're always like coming from a place of criticism, right? It's like you're a communist. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you're like Karl Marx. Like you have an issue with everything. Hold on. Not everything, but like it seems like you have an issue with a lot of things that Dominicans do, and it's like you're very open to criticizing. It's like there's a place to criticize and just to just to talk and be productive. You know what I mean? And not to single you out, but I'm not, I can pick up on people. I know what people think. I see right through you. You know what I mean? So like when I get on people, it's because like I know what's up. Like I can tell when someone is being, when someone's trying to be a dick. I can tell when someone is genuinely curious, when they're trying to be toxic. Um, I can tell, you know what I mean? So it's like you can't hide from me. So I don't know, maybe stop pretending to be Dominican or stop hating yourself. I mean, it's one of those two.
Infiltrators.
Right. You know. So and I see people literally come on certain streams saying they're Dominican with a completely like bro, like I can tell that I'm an expert in this. Okay, Dominicans, listen, if you grow up in an entirely Dominican environment, upbringing, you pick up on things. Okay, I pick up on things that maybe you know a lot of Dominicans in the United States can't pick up on, that are oblivious to, but I pick up on these things. That's why I'm talking about these things. And when I say like, well, when I try to dictate who's Dominican and who's not, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a bad person, but it's like I can tell that your views are influenced from somewhere else. Like I can tell. And people know that my views are influenced, from the United States, but at the end of the day, my being, is Dominican. And if you show this to a Dominican, most Dominicans, they're gonna agree with everything I'm saying. If you explain what I'm saying and you explain it in Spanish, they're gonna agree with what I'm saying. Most of them, the majority.
Those that are not Americanized.
Right. So yeah, I might have like American influences, but I know like what is Dominican and what's not, and I don't try to dictate. I say maybe we should try this, maybe we should try that. Dominicans don't agree. They'll tell me they don't agree, and you know. But if I'm coming up with good ideas, or if I'm talking about things that we used to do, there's really no issue. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to, single people out. I'm not a mean person. I'm really not. I'm like one of the nicest people ever, ever. Like I'm really nice. Um, but people are not nice to me. So people are not nice to Dominicans. So, we gotta defend ourselves here. We can't just be known for being like pushovers. You know, we have to know when to defend ourselves. That's good to hear, Pablo. Yeah, Dominicans are cool with everybody, man. Dominicans are cool with everybody. Well, I want to say everybody, but we're cool with most Hispanics, Like we have no issues getting along with most Hispanics whatsoever. Like my mom, like she'll probably like my parents, they'll probably take like another Hispanic's side, you know, to um like correct me, you know what I mean? Like if I say a word wrong or something, like they'll probably take another Hispanic side and be like, así no se dice, tiene que hablar español, you feel me? Like on so many things, like it's crazy. Thanks, Rod. I appreciate that. Pablo Escobar was Basque. No me diga. So imagina, yo, that would be some crazy like twist. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be interesting. I met a friend, like I think it was like 2 years ago, and he's a white Dominican, and his ancestry is from Basque, and he has like a weird name. Like his name is like it's like a Basque name, and it's like it was weird. And he kind of looks like if you could imagine like he looks Spanish, but like a little German, kind of. And yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while because of COVID and stuff, but yeah, he's a cool guy. Um, so there are some Dominicans who still, they still have their Basque ancestry for the most part attached. Um, and yeah, he told me one of the things he told me was that certain people say that he doesn't look Dominican because I guess he looks too white for some people, and that's messed up. Like, that's messed up. But once he told me he was Dominican, I was like, well, first of all, I looked at him and he looked like one of my cousins. So I already knew. I literally already knew. I'm like, yeah, he's probably Dominican. But yeah, that's something that is uh is a problem. It's like people saying that that white Dominicans don't look Dominican. That's ridiculous. Who's the white Spanish person in my family? Um, cousins, my dad's side of the family. Um, just not everyone is not everyone in my family is, like white Dominican or Spanish, but you know, I have relatives here and there, and I get a lot of, a lot of well, more so on my dad's side, I would say, it's like, Spanish, and on my mom's side, it's like more mixed, you know. But yeah, I mean, I need to probably ask like more about like my background and stuff because I did the DNA thing like freaking I don't even like half a decade ago. I did it a while ago, like a long time ago actually. Um, and I haven't like you know updated it or anything, but like I had like it wasn't like the European wasn't all Spanish. It was like there was like some Northern European in there. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know what that's about. So I gotta ask. I gotta ask. Like what? Oh, Blood Moon is mad. She's salty. Yeah, Blood Moon. I'm sorry. I'm just a little too good at this. That's why I get all the ladies. You know. Macho says he's going to Spain next year. Yeah, man. Check it out. Check it out. Spain is one of the safest places in the world. Great people. This guy asked, "How do I get a Dominican girlfriend?" Um, Before I even answer that, why do you want a Dominican girlfriend? Cause, cause not to like put you on the spot or anything, but I am aware that you're not Dominican, right? Or Hispanic. So you should ask yourself why you would want a Dominican girlfriend in the first place. Like what's like cuz it I'm listen, they probably don't live in your neighborhood, right? They're probably not easy to come by where you live, right? So it seems like you're kind of going out of your way. And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be an ass. But it looks like you're going out of your way to try to get with a Dominican woman. And and I don't think you even know why you want to do that. And I don't know what you know what you heard about Dominican women, but they mejor no digo nada. They tend to stick with us. I'll put it like that. A lot of Spanish women marry Dominican men. Yep. I mean the the first Dominican Spaniards. I mean they were Spanish, so there's nothing that's normal. First to was Little Spain, yeah, like Isla Española, little you know Little Spain. It was like the Spanish island, La Isla Española. Yeah, Macho says African American women aren't good enough for you, man. Dude, there are so many. There's so many women out there, African American women, who are just like being abandoned, and I'm just like what the hell? I feel like that's like some I don't know, man. I don't want to judge or whatever, but I feel like that's just weird, man. Like people like I don't know, like certain guys in this community attacking the woman, like that's just weird, man. Like what is that? Should be you should love your people. You shouldn't hate your people. You shouldn't want to, be with other people. You should love your people, man. I don't know what you're trying to I don't know what you're trying to I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know what you think you're gonna find, but you need to stick to your people because that is true joy. All right, when you just speak the same language, same culture, you know, same people, it's like same land. It's like it makes everything so much easier, man. It makes it so much easier. Opposites do not attract. Don't believe that. That's that nonsense in the media. That's nonsense. Opposites do not attract. That's a quick way to get a divorce. Many conquistadors were Basque. Spain is the fatherland of Hispanics. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like if you're Hispanic and you hate Spain, you kind of hate yourself because you're a product of Spain. You're a product of the Spanish Empire. So you hate Spain, you hate yourself. Yeah, Dominican women should only date Hispanics. Yeah, they should only well, they should date Dominicans, right? Because if we don't create Dominicans, we kind of just disappear. But yeah, if not Dominican, then another Hispanic, and try to keep the culture together. Like even among Hispanic couples, there might be like little cultural issues, little things. But if not Dominican, then Hispanic. And I wish Haiti was full of French people. uh, I mean, if they're cool French people, right? Like we don't want a bunch of French assholes next to us, right? If they're cool French people. I don't think Dominicans would mind that much. The French, they should just, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay, Blood Moon. Your question, what big businesses are Dominicans investing in? Um, I don't know that off the top of my head. Okay, I don't know that off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, I would say Dominicans are investing in, the resorts because because there because there are ways to invest in the resorts directly and indirectly. So if you buy like certain memberships, you're investing in the resort, you know? If you visit a resort, if you spend your money at a resort, you're investing, right? So like it doesn't just mean that like we go in some like building and we go to some office and we're sitting in a table and we're just making decisions on like how to split the profits. It's as simple as like Dominicans going to a Dominican resort and spending money. Or I'm sure there are a bunch of companies that I'm not aware of, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of them, right? I mean, YouTube is it might not be a physical business, but there are a lot of Dominican YouTubers who are creating businesses on YouTube, and on social media and things like that, for example. It's like they exist. There's so much happening in the country right now. It's insane. There's so much going on. We just don't know about it. We're just not aware of it. Amora says African Americans should date their own women. Yep, they should. I mean, yep. There are options, man. There are options. You can't tell me that all of them are feminists or that they're crazy or like no, dude. Like I know they're not all crazy or they're all feminists or whatever. No, that's a lie, dude. That's a cope. That's a cope. This guy said Porfirio Rubirosa, el tigre de los tigres, el super chapi. These say if a Dominican woman is with a non-Dominican, she's single. LOL. Wait, what? If a Dominican woman is with a non-Dominican, she's single. Bruh. Yo, thanks, true patriot. Gracias. Long live Puerto Rico. Tú sabes. What do I think about Tamara la teacher? Let me look her up. I feel like I know who this is because I tend to like know about these relationships. These like these couples, these Dominican and like foreign couples and not foreign, but you know what I mean. Oh, what do I think about her? What do I think about hold on, let me see. What do I think about their relationship? Um I mean, she looks Dominican to me. She looks Dominican. That's the first thing. She looks Dominican. Um and she knows Spanish. Ooh, she looks Dominican. She knows Spanish. She's off to a good start. And they have a it looks like they have a healthy relationship. So she looks Dominican. Looks like she could be Dominican. She knows Spanish. And they have a healthy relationship. I mean, that's fine. That's fine with me. You know, especially like if the person the Dominican, especially the Dominican in the relationship is the man, because he can sort of like guide the woman, um, you know, in understanding the culture. So like especially if it's a Dominican guy, then yeah, that relationship would be strong. You know, they didn't. Latinas are number one best women in the world. They're the greatest. They're the best women in the world. Believe me, they're amazing. Okay. Yeah, most of the girls I've you know most of the girls that I've been into are Hispanic. I dated an Irish girl because for some reason I thought they were similar to Hispanics. I mean, I mean, if you look at Irish people, some of them look Spanish. So you might be picking up on something, right? And they also have they also have like the Catholic religion. So we do share some things with the Irish. True Patriot says, I don't see why Hispanics feel the need to mix when we already have different variations of Hispanics. Yeah, that's something that I've said before. Like, I don't understand like why certain Hispanics like they go on this like Afrocentric thing, right? And it's like, bro, like you're just adopting like like Black American views. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to to talk about what happened to Black Americans in this country. Is one thing to sympathize, but it's another thing to adopt it as your own. That's insane because you didn't go through the things they went through. You didn't go through the things they went through. It doesn't compare. You're just a fake. And it, it's really annoying, man. It's really annoying when certain Hispanics do that. They think they understand like the American stuff, and it's like we don't understand. We have no idea. We just got here. And same thing with them. They don't know about us. They don't know what we've been through. We just got here. So we're like in the phase. We're like in the phase where like we're making assumptions about each other. Like we don't even know. We're just like making assumptions. You got anything to add, John? Gonna end the stream in a bit.
Not really, man.
So yeah, those are some of the things I wanted to talk about on this great day. Oh, it was a joke. Mm. Yeah, man, these women. It's best if they stick with us, man. You don't want them, man. You don't want them. It's better if they stick with us. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Mm, que viva papá Dios y la patria. Buenas noches, mi gente, my my people. Yeah, a lot of African Americans are they're kind of just like anti. They're kind of a lot of them are anti-white. Not all of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. Because of the history of this country and blah blah blah. And they sometimes they project that stuff onto us, right? And if not us, to our white cousin or our parent or our sister or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can't be anti like Hispanic, anti-white, and expect us to let you in. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna make me go against my family. You gotta be out of your mind. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying I'm not saying all of them are like that. 'Cause some of them are cool. Yeah, some of them are cool. They don't do that. Cardi B and Offset. Cardi B is only half Dominican, and I just gotta point this out. I'm sorry. I just gotta point this out. I gotta point this out. Hold on, before I end the stream. I mean, she's probably she probably doesn't like me. She probably saw my channel. She probably came across my channel at some point. And she probably already doesn't like me, you know. And you know that's fine, you know. But I just gotta point something out. You know what? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Forget it. I'm not gonna do it. Basically, she's half Dominican. You know, uh, I'm not trying to, you know, I don't. When I say that, I'm not trying to make people that are half Dominican feel, bad or anything or guilty because you know there are a lot of people who are half Dominican who are basically like Dominican who are Dominican in every way, you know. But there's some people who are half Dominican and they don't understand. Like they cannot grasp Dominican like culture or Dominican thought and they just create conflict. You know, certain I'm not saying all of them, certain, you know, and Cardi B unfortunately is one of those people. But yeah, have a good night guys. Um Again, feliz día de la independencia dominicana. You know, God bless and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.